Hi, this is James Sentman. We're doing a little unboxing and demo install of the new barix Baronet 50 Universal IP Automation Controller. This is a neat little box. It combines a lot of really useful features and at a really reasonable price, which is a retail of $159 actually. So in the box you get your instructions, and here is the device. The Baronet 50 has Ethernet jack, so it connects over Ethernet. You get a remote serial port, which XTension can use to connect to a CM11 or remote devices of any serial kind. Also has 4 relay outputs and 4 digital inputs for contact closures or whatever else. Also has an RS-485 port for connecting more Baronet devices for more inputs and outputs, and additionally a one-wire bus that can attach up to 50 temperature sensors to it. Right now only temperature sensors are supported natively, but theoretically you could write code for the box that would talk to other devices, but right now we don't support that directly, although there's no reason you couldn't do that. The connections are via these push-in terminal blocks, which are really quite nice because it makes it easy to disconnect the box. It does not come with a power supply, but runs on anything from 9 to 30 volts, and I just happen to have mine connected right here to a bench power supply, so we'll just plug that in and let things light up. I also have a Ethernet port here that we'll plug in. And it will get an address first off from the DHCP server on the network. And so we need first to go and see what the DHCP server address that it has been given is. So in order to find out the DHCP address of the Baronet on my network, I need to look at the airport utility. And if you click the Advanced tab, you can see the DHCP clients. And I can see right here that mine has taken the address of 106. And here you can see the Baronet setup web page. And this gives you direct control over the relays. And I can actually turn those on and off right now. But the first thing we need to do is click the configuration link and update the firmware on this. This is a 1.0 firmware. We need to update at least to the 1.01 beta firmware. The device will restart into update mode after you click that link. And the file is in the Baronet download kit data here, and it's in the update rescue folder, and it is the compound.bin file. And we'll go ahead and choose that and upload. It'll take just a few seconds. Now the update has been loaded. We need to reboot the device again, and I got a green status light, so we're ready to go back to the main page. Now the next configuration thing I want to change is to add a static IP address, as it's no good to use DHCP for something you want XTension to reliably be able to connect to. So we're going to change the IP address to something static. Standard net mask for inside the airport. Gateway, although I don't know why it needs to know the gateway, it's not going to be making any outgoing connections, but that is the airport address. And the DNS server, again, I don't know that it needs to know that, so we're not going to use that. And we'll save that. And reboot the device again. Now in order to reconnect to this, we'll have to enter the new statically assigned IP address, and there's the device again. So now we have updated the device to 1.0 B1 firmware. The last things we need to set up here are under the Control tab. A web server port if you'd like to change that. But importantly, the Command API needs a TCP port. The default is 12301, but you can certainly, if you have multiple of these going through a gateway or something, you can change that. Also need to set this TCP info. The initial IO state subscription should be set to local IO, which the add IO state subscriptions set with get IO, set IO. Those two things are the only thing required on this page. Click OK and reboot the device. Now we should be able to connect the device in XTension. Let's close that and start up XTension. So if we go to the preferences inside of XTension, we need to create a new device. Give it a name. I'm just going to call this one barix, and select the device type from the pop-up. You can see we don't have to select a port because it knows we're connecting over TCP/IP, so it asks us for the IP address. So the one set up there, the port is already set up to the default, and we do want to auto-init our units. So we'll save that, and we should be able to start up this device, and you can see we got a barix ready and an initial setup for all the inputs and outputs on the device, even though we don't have units for those yet. Click OK and save those. The barix setup plugin comes with a single script, make units for a barix 50, and if you click this, first thing it will do is ask you to select the interface. If you have multiple interfaces, they will be set up here. So we are going to just select the one we have. It's called barix, and click OK. And it's going to make a whole bunch of units and address them and set them all up. And so here we've got inputs automatically created for the 4 relay units, the 4 input units, and 8 temperature sensors, which right now are set to the, there is no temperature sensor connected. So we can change the relays here like this, and you'll see the lights on the devices change as you do that. The inputs you can't set from here, but I can set them by touching this to the connections on the box, and you can see there's one. I'm just shorting them to ground with a wire here, and you get those inputs right away. That is all there is to setting up a barix with XTension.